Hey everyone, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel, coming at you from the Primetime Treasure Mobile. I'm about to go on a 45-minute trip to put my eyes on a collection of approximately 30,000 comic books. That's right, 30,000. According to the person who has these books, there's about 120 boxes. There could be more. So if we estimate about 250 per box, bagged and boarded for the most part, that would give us around 30,000. Now, it could be a little less than that, could be a little more than that. I'll get a better sense of it when I go there. Now, I feel a little bit like I'm living a parallel life lately with Craigslist Hunter, one of my favorite YouTubers. Craigslist Hunter, he recently had the opportunity to purchase a large lot of 25,000 comic books, but he ultimately passed on it because the books were determined not to really be worth that much, and also because of the amount of labor that would be involved to flip them and sell them. In that situation, the person who Pete was dealing with, Pete is also known as Craigslist Hunter, Pete was dealing with somebody who had closed down a comic book shop, and so all the comic books that this person had were relatively modern, and they were ones that, you know, weren't really, again, worth that much. A lot of kind of overstock, overfill, that sort of thing. This situation is different. This is somebody who I have known for over a year, who has been selling comic books at the local flea market. Now, I have been trying to buy small amounts of this collection for over a year, but not pushing too much because initially the person wanted too much money for the collection. However, over time and continuously talking with him, over the last year, this person has become increasingly frustrated and despondent regarding comic books. He is not someone who ever collected comic books. He's not someone who's really interested in comic books. He was just purchasing collections here and there, driving out to them. People would come to him, whatever. He'd pick up these big collections, and then they just accumulated into this big mass. And now he's pretty much just lost his initiative and doesn't have the desire to really do anything with it. He's more interested in other collectibles that he sells outside of comic books. So it's a different situation than Craigslist Hunter. Plus, I've seen small samples of this person's collection before, of some of his collection, like 8 boxes or so. He would bring to the flea market, and they're really good books. Lots of Harley Quinn, for example, some really hot titles, Walking Dead, Wonder Woman, some good modern DC, Batman, that type of stuff. So there's lots of good stuff there, and the condition that I saw was really solid. I mean, very fine to near mint condition for the most part, all bagged and boarded. So now it sounds like he's motivated to sell, and so he wants this stuff out of the location where he keeps it. But I've got to get my eyes on it, and I've got to see it firsthand. I've never seen the whole collection. He tells me there's no key comic books in there. In other words, no individual comic book that is very significant and worth a lot of money. However, I consistently deal with people who undervalue and sell their comic collection short all the time, telling me that X, Y, and Z is not in there, and then I buy the collection or I go see it, and sure enough, those things are in there. So I need to see it firsthand. I will try to turn on the camera to get some type of video of it, although it's probably just going to be me and him in there. So it would be difficult in some situations to film, but I'm gonna try to get some video of what's in there, and then once I'm done with it, I'll give you a sense of what I think about it. This really is potentially a life-changing type of thing in terms of a purchase, because it's just so massive. I mean, it would completely change basically where I would store this. Probably, I don't want to purchase a storage unit, so I have an area in the basement where I'd have to basically remove a couch that I was thinking of getting rid of anyway, and basically store these and stack them several high and see exactly how we could do it. But I've got to get a sense of the size of this collection. But if I could get it at a decent price, I mean, I really could turn this for tens of thousands of dollars if I could get it for several grand. So we'll see. I will hopefully turn this camera on pretty soon once I get there, and we'll see what happens. All right, I have just arrived, so I'm gonna walk in right now and see exactly what this collection is all about. All right, so start back there. There's some loose books there, some stacks. And then,
stacks on top of there I haven't addressed.
okay, so we've got all these, actually let me get a long view. We've got all these boxes here. And in addition, there are ones underneath here too. So let's see. There's plenty down there. You know, there's just random boxes there. It looks like there's some here as well. So there's another one. We'll do an official count later. There's some more down there. But these are all long boxes. Well, there's some short boxes. Two short boxes together are pretty close to a long box. Then we've got some here, and they are organized by character. Looks like up to around here, right? These are all organized by character?
Correct.
Okay. So like this one here is all Doctor Who. So that's cool. Harley Quinn. I remember, yeah, so there's a whole bunch of Harley Quinns here. I remember this box from the flea market. So we got a lot there. All right, so then there's some down here. Then there's some stacks, just some random stacks like right over here. And then it goes back even more over here, here, here. I mean, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It goes all the way down, all the way here, all the way over here. These are not organized, right? Really?
Lesser
Like the one, they're like lesser characters.
But
But
DC and Marvel, but lesser.
okay, but these are, looks like Superman. You've got organized
Yeah. All
by
these
Superman here.
All these and all these are by big names.
Okay. All right. Okay, got some Star Wars. This whole box is Star Wars, it looks like. Some older stuff, got some newer stuff. That's the whole thing. Star Trek. It's all Spawns. Looks like there's a second box of Star Wars too. Sergeant Rock. 20-cent issues. I was just trying to get a sense too of what's here so I could show. There's some old books, 30-cent ones, some newer ones. There's just a lot of stuff here. Then there's some more boxes over here. It's like another whole section. So there's definitely a lot of stuff. And underneath as well, there's a little bit here too. Okay. And these are also included. There's like some of the bigger books, like bigger than your standard size comic book, more like a magazine kind of graphic novel type size. Just a lot of stuff here. Some horror. And it's just Mad Magazines, Savage Sword of Conan. So, some books, a lot of stuff. All right, I am out of there. So that was a pretty interesting collection to look at. As you can see, there was really a nice diversity of items, a lot of different characters, lots of different publishers. Things were organized generally by character, so that was nice to see. The books were in great condition overall. There were a lot of old books as well as new books, so it really was a nice diverse collection. This is completely different than what Pete looked at the Craigslist Hunter video I referenced earlier, where he was dealing with mostly modern age books. This is really a nice assortment of comics. So I would really like to get this collection if I can, but it's a matter of working out a lot of logistics at this point. One is, where am I going to store all this stuff? If I have to buy a storage locker, that's probably going to kill the deal. So I've got, because that's going to be about $100 a month. And that would have to be worked into the price, and that would probably kill it. So I've got to figure out a way to get this into my home base at Primetime Treasure headquarters and figure out a way to see if I could plan out space for all of those boxes. Now, how many boxes are there? Well, I walked around and did an estimate in terms of a total count, and I estimated there are about 129 long boxes there. So that's about, if you put about 250 comic books per box. They're all bagged and boarded for the most part. Some weren't, so there's probably a little bit more in there, but as a rough estimate, it's about 32,250 comics. Plus, there's about another 175 of those trade paperback books that I showed in the video, those longer books, more of like a graphic novel type of book. So there's approximately 32 to 33,000 books there, conservatively. So where I want to get these books at is about 10 to 15 cents per book. I could go a little bit higher. I really absolutely don't want to go more than 20 cents. Now, what he wants is $7,000 for the collection, and that's just too much for me to pay. I also have to factor in the cost of transporting this 45 minutes back to my house, and it's going to require multiple trips. Now, he's thrown in an offer that he will transport all of the books to my house, no matter how many trips it takes. He will do it. He has a van. He'll cover all that. He'll do it. So that's nice. I have to factor that in as well. But really, ideally, where I'd want to be is, I'd love to get him for around 4,000, but he's not going to go for that. So you got to jump up a little bit more, which I'm willing to do because of the types of books and the types of titles that are there. Now, I could go up to 5,000. I could even go up. 5,000 would put it at about 15 cents a book. I could even go up to 5,500, then factoring in that he's going to transport it over. So really at this point, essentially, we're about $1,000 apart. Do I let the deal fall apart for $1,000? I'm not sure. One, because I don't technically need this collection. I have tons of books, so I really should be the one who has the most leverage in this situation, and I like to be the one who has the most leverage. I've been basically negotiating with this person for over a year for this collection, essentially. When I first met him and first tried to throw out the notion of buying it, at that point he was at 30 cents an issue. So what he's asking for is more like 25 cents an issue. So he hasn't gone down that much, but he's gone down a little bit. I do know he wants to get those books out of there. So he is somewhat motivated to sell, but he's pretty fixed right now on his price, although he does admit that if it stays around too much longer, he might come back to me for the 5,500. So we agreed right now to kind of just kind of break apart for a second, and I'll think about it, let him think about it, and I'll get back to him by the end of the week or by Monday and just let him know. I'm going to talk it over with Miss Primetime and just try to work the numbers and just figure out if there's a way that we can make this work. So, I wanted to kind of take you kind of inside of how, kind of deals like this could kind of go down. This is just based on a personal connection that I made with someone who's a seller, at a flea market. That's how this is, whole thing has evolved over the course of a year. So, it may work out, it may not, but still I wanted to kind of take you inside to see how these kind of things work, take you before, at the scene, and then afterwards in terms of post-processing this type of thing. So we'll see what happens with it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious. Would you make the purchase? Would you not make the purchase, especially if you're into comic books? If you're not into comic books, it might be kind of hard for you to say, but if you know something about comics, let me know. I'm curious what you think. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna drive home, think about this some more, and give Miss Primetime a call, and that's about it for now. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, racing up to 1,000 subscribers. This would be also a good topic for I'm going to be on Flippin' Hippo's live show this weekend at 8 o'clock on Sunday, so be sure to check that out. We'll be talking about comic books, all sorts of collectibles. Make sure you come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below, and follow me on Instagram. That's at Primetime Treasure, no S. I'll see you all at the next video, everybody.